So how much does it cost to open a barbershop? Elijah, how much it costs to open a barbershop? Do you know? Boy, you way off. That's my son, getting big, legit. So there's a lot of variables, obviously. I'm not gonna just tell you guys the obvious. We're gonna get into some details, but obviously it depends. It depends the area that you're opening. It depends what you're trying to accomplish. I could tell you that whether you're opening a shop that is 500 square feet and can fit 4 or 5 chairs, 4 chairs, 3 chairs, or you're opening one that's 1,500 square feet where you can fit 12, 13 chairs, 14 chairs. The cost starts to most of the bulk of the cost of opening these shops is going to be in the build out and stuff. Sure, stations add up and stuff, but what I always suggest to people is don't open what you can afford now. Try to figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish, what kind of shop you want, and reverse engineer it. For example, if you plan on having a 10-chair shop, lease the space, buy the space that can fit a 10 chairs, but maybe you build it out in the beginning to have 4 or 5 chairs, because you don't want to outgrow your success too quickly and then you're limited to where you're at. We've opened barbershops that's cost north of $100,000, over $100,000. And I've opened a very cheap salon type of space for $20,000, $15,000, okay? In our mentorship, we have all kinds of detailed spreadsheets and all that to really build out your shop and have projections, and it's essentially a business plan. So to give you an idea of the bulk of the cost, right? You know those lit up signs that are in the front of stores? I paid as much as $12,000 for one of those, as little as $3,500 for one of those. Do not go cheap on those. That is a walk-in. You don't go cheap on that. You go well lit, as big as the plaza will allow you to do. But that cost is pretty unavoidable. I would suggest 5, 6, 7,000 probably going to be, especially if you're in a nice plaza, how much you're going to spend there. But if you're not in a fancy plaza like one of these, right, then you can probably get away with a cheaper sign. Just make sure it's lit up. Just make sure it's lit up. Get 3 quotes. They might say it's going to cost you $4,000. Boom, $4K just to get started. I can tell you that $15,000 shop I opened did not have a sign outside. It did not have we did window decals and that's about it. But that's not a good idea if you're trying to make this the busiest, most successful shop you can have, okay? Just going into it, you got to find out what it's going to cost to lease the space. I could tell you in Tampa, 50 to 75 bucks a square foot per year is the new norm. It's crazy. Your city might be different. I've seen places where it's still 25, 30. And then there's places like Miami where it's 100, some spots. Nonetheless, you're going to need first, last, and security. And your credit better be good, because most of the time, especially if it's a good plaza and a good place where you're going to be busy and set up for success, they're going to want a personal guarantee. So they're going to check your credit. So think about it. If you need first, last, and security deposit, and your rent's $5,000 a month, there goes 15 grand. You haven't even started the build out. So 15 plus the 4 for the sign if you're going super cheap on the sign. If you're not going super cheap on the sign, like Headlines don't go cheap on the sign, you're going to spend $8, $9, $10, $11, $12,000. So between first, last, and security deposit plus your sign, you're already at $20,000. If you're going to the type of plazas that we're in, where our barbershops are walk-in city, our barbers make 6 figures on average. So if you want that type of success, it takes a risk. It takes a hell of a risk. This is why shop owners deserve to make decent money. And they don't. We still don't make good money compared to other businesses. But you can open an ice cream parlor and make more money than a barbershop does. But if you run it well and you're on the top 10% of barbershops, you can do pretty well. Okay? So we're already at 20K. All right? You want barber chairs. Some of you guys want some nice chairs. A barber chair could easily be $1,500, $1,000, $1,200. We've probably bought 80 chairs from the same person, from the same company. So he hooks it up. We get a decent price. And we pay about golly. We pay about $1,000 a chair, I believe, for a chair that's retail probably $1,500. Okay. So if you're doing 10 chairs, there goes 10 grand. 20 plus 10, you're already at 30. Okay. What about floor mats? What about sanding strip dispensers? What about the lighting? What about the flooring? What about painting? Painting a shop, man, we've been getting quoted crazy numbers, 7,000. We usually just paint the place ourselves. In the beginning, that's what we would do. Now we don't, because time is more valuable to us. And if you want to scale, you can't be doing all the painting yourself. So it's about 5-6 grand to paint a shop. Then you got the floors. There goes another 10 grand. If it's a decent size, could you go cheaper? Of course. Could you find a plaza that has a unit that used to be a shop or a salon that you can take over and bootstrap it? Keep the floor that's there, paint it yourself, keep the lighting that's there, use the ring lights for now, keep the stations for now, just put lipstick on it until you get the cash flow going. But if you're doing it the way that Headlines does it now, you got to buy stations, you got to buy chairs, you got to buy mirrors, you got to buy sanding strip dispensers, air hoses, garbage cans, power strips. They seem cheap at $25 a piece. But when you get 10 of them, there goes $250. It gets quick. And we haven't even opened the doors. What if you need electrical work, plumbing, stuff like that? I could tell you that at this point, it is very difficult for us to open a shop for less than $75,000. 75,000 tends to be the number for the perfect situation. But if it's a brand new build, like a vanilla shell, where there's no concrete, no electricity, no water, nothing like that, you can negotiate and get some help from the landlord, some TA, tenant allowance. But those type of shops are costing about 150 grand to build out, because you have to pour the cement. You got to put the plumbing in, the electrical, the lighting, the flooring. It gets very expensive. And the landlord might give you 50 grand. But by the time you build it out for the 150, that 50 grand is going into barber chairs, stations, the signage outside, marketing, stuff like that. One of the best ways you can get in for a little bit cheaper is if you go and try to buy a barbershop. If you can try to buy a barbershop, and I only recommend you do it locally. It's very hard to do outside of your hometown. The downside of buying a barbershop is you don't know what you're taking on. You could be taking on a bad culture in the shop, a bad reputation. You could be taking on skeletons that you don't know. And we bought 2 barbershops in the past, and the second one has gone good, but it didn't go without hiccups. And the first one we had to close down. It had a lot of hiccups. So that's a huge risk too. You're saving some money, but you're taking on more risk by buying a barbershop, because there's way more unknowns. Okay. Mommy told you to get chicken?
Yeah, chicken breast and chicken wings.
You know what you're doing? Bro, you don't know what the hell you're doing.
So I do.
Are you sure? I'm going to trust you, and because I'm blogging. I don't want to get home and mine be like, yo, what is this? Okay. He's getting so big. All right. So that's just, I would say on the cheap end, you're in 50K, 40K. On average, you're in 75K. On the expensive end, new build out, beautiful plaza, 150K. Okay. We're not even open for business yet. You're not going to spend any money on marketing. You're not going to have cash flow coming in, because unless you have barbers from day one coming in, paying full booth rent or making real money and paying you a decent commission, you're not going to make any money. So you got to have a burn rate. You might not start making money till 6 months in to being open. Do you have reserves to withstand that? Something you have to think about. And then you're going to deal with barbers who get mad, who are upset because it's 105 degrees outside and the AC can't keep up. Like, you got barbers mad while you're literally trying to survive. Mad because they don't like the music another barber's playing. Grown adults, okay? So there's that emotional bandwidth you got to have with all of this. with all of this going on, right? Barbershop owners don't get enough credit, but sometimes the wrong barbershops get into it and they don't know what they're getting into. And that's why a lot of shops aren't run well, okay? So if you're one of those individuals and you really want coaching, we have the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship, where we have a whole barbershop module. We help you guys out. If you're in the mentorship and you want to comment how we've helped you open a shop from start to finish, guys who their first time ever opening a shop and they're doing it like they've been vets in the industry. There's nothing wrong. Drop your ego. There's nothing wrong. Drop your pride with leveraging people's wisdom, because this is a hell of a task to take on, opening a successful shop. One is a huge task. We've scaled to 8. We got a 9th one opening on August 15th in Bloomingdale. And so leverage other people's experiences, the wisdom. And one last thing, I just started a website to try to connect barbers with one another. Good shop owners with good barbers. If you're in the mentorship, you'll have a badge that shows that you're a shop owner. If you're just a barber, not a shop owner, you'll have a badge that says you're a Six-Figure Barber mentee, a student. And if you're not in the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship, you can still join. It's free to get started. It's free. And you can get connected with these guys. The best barbers you could ever hire are going to be guys in the Six-Figure Barber Mentorship. The best shop you could ever work at are going to be from shops made from shop owners who've been through the training and who are doing this the right way. And so if you want to connect with those people, this is the website to do it. It's free to get started, to sign up. There's other features that you can unlock with a subscription, but to join, it's free. You have access with almost everything that's in there. And I'll put the link in the description for that as well. It's called barberlisting.com, barberlisting.com. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching the video. You guys now know how much it costs to open a shop. On the low end, I would say about 40, 50K. Mid, probably 75. And top of the line, everything brand new, about 150. Could you do it for less? Absolutely. You can hack the game. I've done it for 20K. But you ain't gonna have the sign outside. It's not gonna be what you guys envision, what you guys want. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. Gotta do what you gotta do. But it's very difficult, especially in this market, to get it done for 20. All right? Y'all have a good one.